everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, we are doing a doubleheader of Masked Singer and the X Factor UK. This is kind of going to be how we're going to run things for this kind of fall/early winter season. Joining me for this podcast is my co-host Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing good. Oh, I'm doing good. These shows were rough. This is gonna be a rough season. It was rough enough that we skipped last week because we weren't sure we were gonna do this every week because it's a wasteland honestly. But we're gonna power through it, and I hope you'll suffer through this show with us.
I mean, I just finished watching both. I watched them both, like the X Factor and one of the Masked Singers back to back, and my God,
Yeah.
that's really the words to kind of put it. I mean, we're going to start talking about the X Factor UK this season, and just to set the stage a little bit, it is not a typical season. It is celebrity, and of the celebrity list, when I saw the list, there was one person whose name I knew. Eric, did you know any more than one from me?
I knew a couple of these people. I knew of a couple of these people, but honestly, I mean, if you're gonna pick people we don't know who are supposed to be celebrities, pick people who can sing. That'd be ideal. Yeah, God, this it was rough. It was probably. I'm trying to think if there's any episode of X Factor I watched that was worse than this one, and I can't think of one. I think this was the worst.
It was really rough. I mean, there was like two legitimate singers, I think, like that were one who I
Uh,
thought was pretty like a B, and kind of the rest of the performances were kind of C and below. There was like the B for me, and then like a C plus maybe, and everyone else was just. I mean, it was is. Do we have better contestants coming up in the next round?
Probably not, but God, I hope so.
What was kind of what do you think was the thought process behind this kind of season for the X Factor UK? Like,
Well, I can tell you
why
what
did it happen? Who do I point my fingers at?
Simon, right?
It's always Simon's fault. That's too easy.
Well, this one is Simon's fault, and the
Well, we
reason I know exactly why it happened. Actually, if you're actually curious, so Simon said the idea behind it came from a good place. I'll put it that way. The idea was we're spending all this time and focus and money on these shows trying to create superstar judges, but we want to put focus on the contestants. And apparently Simon thinks that we can't put focus on normal people as contestants. We have to have celebrities as contestants to put the focus on them, which is bullshit. But at least the first half of what I said was right. Um, we are putting too much focus on the judges, and we're not putting enough on the contestants. But we need contestants who can sing as part of the thing. Um, so that's why it came from. And also, the other reason Simon picked this format was that apparently last year in the UK, a non-singer who was actually a TV host, Bradley Walsh, had the number one album of the year.
So there's that.
There's that.
I mean, I this is the X Factor UK this season is it's one of those shows. It is the epitome of what kind of reality TV competition shows are kind of moving into, which is a space I really don't like, where it's kind of personality over talent,
Yes, I
and
mean,
that's kind
honestly.
of that. These shows have taken quite a few shifts over the years since I started watching them a few years ago, and the fact that it's been gradual, but I feel like it's kind of coming to a head with a show like the X Factor UK, where we're kind of the talent isn't so much as important as much as the show, which from like a producer standpoint I can kind of understand, but you gotta there's you gotta have a balance there. It can't just be one is so much higher than the other,
Hmm.
and that was kind of the thought process I kind of came away with it. Here's how this podcast is going to work. So we are going to be breaking down, like I said, these two shows. Eric and I are going to be going through three favorite points, favorite moments, performances, whatever they might be from both shows. We will kind of trade off back and forth. We'll go through both shows, and yeah, these performances don't all deserve deep dives.
Yeah, they don't. So, but are we doing reverse order? Let's do reverse order.
I'm going in no particular order.
Okay, I'm doing reverse order. So my number three favorite performance from X Factor was Allison Uraheta singing "Back Up." That's
That was
it.
her?
That was her and the blue hair.
That was her?
Yeah,
Wait, really? No
yeah,
way.
it was her.
I gotta rewatch that. I didn't even notice.
I noticed because I was so distracted by the fact that I noticed that during the worst
Can
performance
she
of
be
the
one
episode.
of the celebrities?
Didn't you read my recap? That's what I asked. I basically wrote, I wish she was the one singing on this show because she could sing circles around every single person on the show.
And she's kind of a celebrity. Kind of.
Sorta. I mean, I wish she should. She should be. She should be more of a celebrity than these people. Um,
Oh
honestly,
my
all
god,
the
that is
other,
her.
yeah, all the other performances were varying degrees of terrible. So, I, the only two that I liked, even remotely. So I'm giving Allison a spot on my top three. I love her and I hate this season. Your turn.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to put together three moments. Is so my this is this is weird. I mean, I've never. It's like we're starting with the top three and we're already kind of scooping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, this is really rough.
I mean,
Can I tell you what my honorable mention for number three was?
what?
Um, it was Dermot introducing Michelle and seeing the title sequence. Just the fact that X Factor is back.
Oh god, we missed out on a regular season.
Yeah, we'll get one next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Don't. We're gonna be getting the X Factor, the champions.
No, that's after this one.
They're back to back. How's it even working?
I don't know. This is 8 weeks, and then right afterwards, the All Star season starts.
And parts of the show is gonna be live, right?
The All Star season, I'm not sure. The Celebrity season, the rest of it's live.
All right. Well, my number three. I mean, Haley Hasselhoff, I guess, doing
Really?
"Someone You Loved" by Louis Capaldi. I mean, it was she tried. I mean, it was kind of that's where we're at.
Here's
She
my thing
tried.
about that one. The funniest, first of all, they pulled out all the stops in the way they arranged the track for her. They really wanted her to have a moment with that song.
It was like,
It was all the setup for a moment, and then the execution was just, yeah, it was it's not good. My favorite thing about that performance was a roast joke that Jeff Ross told David Hasselhoff back in 2010, which is he was basically making fun of David singing and saying, talking to his daughter in the audience, saying, "They say talent skips a generation, so you're probably awesome." I wish that was true and not just a joke.
it was like this is too harsh, but I can't think of a better example, so I'm just gonna have to say it. It was like Lazaro Arbos
I
masquerading as
wouldn't go
Scarlet
that far.
Lee.
I would not go
You
that
know what I'm
far.
saying? It was
No, it was not. It was not that bad.
no, I said it was Lazaro Arbos masquerading as Scarlet Lee. Like it's someone trying to be something bigger than they kind of are capable of.
Okay, fine.
You know what I mean? That was just I was just trying to compare like Scarlet Lee is like the high, and I just couldn't think of a better singer. But at least she tried. like
Yeah, good for her for trying.
she gets an A for attempt and about a C for execution.
C, I give that one a C minus, but okay.
I mean,
Bearing in mind the highest grade I'd give anyone was a B. So
I gave one B, and that's the highest.
yeah.
All right, your turn, Eric. What's your second favorite moment of the episode?
Jenny Ryan, which is a low bar. Again, keeping in mind that it's a low bar. This was in no universe was this even a good performance. It was passable at best. And my mom and some other people, including you, thought it was not even passable, thought it was absolutely horrific.
I thought it was horrific. I read your
But
recap and I was
but here's the thing. I've had at least one person agree with me, and some others on Twitter thought she was really good. I'm confused because even I thought I was grasping at straws when I thought it was good. But the thing is, she picked a song that nobody can sing except for Freddie Mercury and Adam Lambert, and she tried, If she
That's
tried
what it
better,
is. She tried.
I think that if she picked better songs that aren't impossible to sing, she could deliver performances that aren't horrendous. So that's where we're at, people. We're just hoping. I'm judging based on the potential not to make me want to throw things at my TV.
This is going to be really harsh, and I really don't mean for it to be. But this was kind of like in the American Idol auditions when they kind of build up a singer and then they kind of go all over the place in the auditions and they kind of not very nicely make fun of them for it, and like the judges.
The difference was yeah, I mean, sort of. That was a lot of these people. Um, but I don't know. I'm grasping at straws. I'm just trying to find something I liked.
That's the name of the podcast. We're trying here.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, something about her tone just it was really it made me like uncomfortable. Like it was just so like it almost sounded like she was putting on a voice. Like that wasn't her real.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
I mean, it just didn't sound. Who is she? These are supposed to be celebrities. I don't know these people.
Remember that TV show host that had the #1 album last year?
Sure.
The game show host. So she's one of the she's one of the people on that game show.
And that made her a celebrity.
Yeah, she's a professional dream crusher, as she said to Simon. So what her job is that she's a trivia person that she faces off against other celebrities and real people, challenging her to see if they can answer questions faster or better than her.
How does one become a trivia master? Like, is there a school for that? Do you go to do you have to go to a college for it? And
I don't know. I don't
trivia.
Care. I don't care.
Who won the baseball championship in this year?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't enjoy it, Eric. I'm sorry.
Your number 2.
So my number 2.
I mean that really.
I don't know if I want to go serious or kind of.
Do you? How about that?
I guess I'll go somewhat serious and give the act I would have given a C plus maybe, which is Max and Harvey. They were the you called them plants.
They're absolutely.
What do you mean if they're plants? They're all plants. They're all celebrities.
By plants I mean they're actually had a record deal at one point, so they're not just celebrities who have never sung before.
So was Kevin McHale was on Glee.
He's one of the other plants.
They're all plants. It's the celebrities.
A lot of them have never sung before though.
They're passable. That's kind of the standard. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible. It was like a C plus for me. I mean,
it was a B minus for me, honestly. For me, they're the only act that wouldn't get any no's in a normal season.
Yeah,
really.
They're one of those acts that,
not terrible singers, marketable enough.
They would get cut in the group round of Hollywood Week.
Yeah, probably, possibly. I mean, I don't know, honestly. Given the fact that they're not terrible, they're probably gonna win.
What are the winners of this season get, Eric?
A record deal.
What if they already have a record deal? These people,
well, they had one, but they didn't have it anymore. Clearly.
How do they? They're 16 years old. They had a record deal and already lost it.
I don't know.
How does that work?
I don't know.
All right. So, it's time for you to share your number 1 favorite moment of the episode.
I just did.
Oh, you did. So was that my number 1?
That was your number 2, which was my number 1.
Oh. So, I guess I should just keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Which does bring me to how is this person not on your list? My number 1, Kevin McHale, Glee alumni. I mean, were you a Glee fan?
No. Despite the exact target demographic, I was not a Glee fan.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Honestly, I thought his voice bugged me. His voice really bugged me.
I mean, I watched Glee from I watched probably 2 or 3 seasons of it, and then that show is the mother of plot holes. Everything just things just happen and then are totally forgotten or are just changed. Like there's the consistency of the story is just kind of all over the place. There's no real plot. I feel like it wanted to be one thing and then was also trying to be another, and I feel it just became a really big mess, and I stopped watching like in 2 seasons before it ended. But Kevin McHale played Artie Abrams. He was
I know.
he was a kid in a wheelchair,
Except
and
he wasn't, which is not okay, but moving on.
what?
Except he actually isn't disabled, so that's not okay. But that's looking back on it now.
Ironically, though, even they put him in a wheelchair, but he's actually one of the. I think they said he was the best dancer of like the entire cast, which is really like weird. But he was also he was in a boy band, I think, growing like when he was younger. So he's been around the musical block. He is the only name I recognize from this list. And for this performance, I mean, it was a B. Like it wasn't great.
For me, it was a C.
Really, I disagree. I thought it was. I mean, I never heard this song before.
I mean, I've heard the song, and here's the problem. The problem was not that he was off key, which he wasn't. He sang it fine. The problem is his voice really got on my nerves. I don't know why it did, but it did.
The thing is also on Glee, he was also like one of the singers who would, if there was a rap part, he would always be like the rapper. Like that was kind of his sometimes input into the music. And his songs, I do agree. Like now that I'm looking back, like the songs he was in weren't so much vocal as much as he was not like a singer that really showed off his vocals on Glee, but
because he doesn't have them clearly.
He's the one person I can root for this season. Eric, don't ruin it.
I'm sorry.
Another thing is he looks entirely different, like from when he was on the show. Like on the show, his hair was different. He had like big glasses. Like he always wore like these really like almost a little bit nerdy sweatshirts, and he just looks like a totally different person. And I almost was like, I didn't even recognize him at first, but he is undeniably talented, and I have a shred of hope for him.
He's a talented actor at least, and a talented dancer maybe.
I'm holding on to something.
I'm glad.
I'm trying.
You do that. We're trying here.
We're trying. But yeah, that happened.
Okay. Masked Singer now, shall we?
All right, so now we are going to pivot. We are going to talk about, ironically, the better show. Who would have thought?
This is so sad that I'm.
This is where we are.
I am actually going to say that I like Masked Singer these 2 weeks better than X Factor.
I mean,
that's how far we've come.
The Masked Singer is unashamedly itself. Like it is what it is. It's a ridiculous show.
It's terrible, but it was less terrible.
People are wearing goofy costumes and they're kind of just doing weird things, and it is what it is.
The judges are excruciatingly irritating.
It's not the X Factor UK where they're kind of trying to pass subpar singers as something better than they are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
All right. So we are going to go over like we did with the X Factor UK. We are not going to go into a deep dive. We will just talk about 3 favorites. So did I go first or did you go first?
I went first. You go first.
All right. So I will go first. So my favorite performance of this
third
favorite. I'm in no particular order except maybe one. I don't know. I decide on the fly. I enjoyed Black Widow doing Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. A lot of people are thinking this is Raven-Symoné, Eric.
It is. When there's this many people thinking it, I think they're right. Honestly, this was my number 1 favorite of both weeks combined.
Of everything.
Of everything that I thought. Well, because Daughtry wasn't on either of these weeks. So. But Raven's got a strong chance of winning, assuming Daughtry doesn't. Really nice voice.
It would be interesting, like, you don't even think about like a pairing like that of a like as many subpar singers that are on the Masked Singer. There's like 1 or 2 who are
really good,
really good, like really good, and it's kind of I'm talking about The Masked Singer here. I'm giving it praise. It's kind of exciting to look forward to those inevitable showdowns.
Yeah, once we get through all the terrible singers, the show will get pretty good.
Yeah,
We just
it's like
have a couple
on
weeks to go on that front.
once it get as long as there aren't, I don't know if there are shock eliminations or something on this.
There
I don't
are
really
not.
know how it works. But this was
There's no voting, so there can't be.
yeah. I mean, but the judges' guesses are just like crazy. Nicole thought that this was Christina Aguilera. Like what? What? Like
That wasn't the worst guess of the 2 weeks. The worst guess was by far from my number 2 favorite.
I saw a glimpse in this episode that we weren't supposed to see. It was Nicole Scherzinger had a shoebox, and in the shoebox there were a lot of rolled up names of celebrities, and right before a singer sings, she pulls one out and is like, "Oh, it's this person. It's Christina Aguilera." And then she like hides it away.
Was that actually part of it?
No, I just made that up.
No, that'd be really funny if that would actually happen. Because that would make as much sense as what actually happened for her to say that.
I mean,
Anywho.
all right, hypothetical situation. Daughtry and Raven-Symoné in the end. If it is Raven-Symoné, there's so many names and there's no it's Bugs and it's I don't there's too many people to follow. Whoever she is, who do you think ends up coming out the winner?
I hope ends up coming out the winner.
Is it the ice cream cone who comes back and wins?
No, it's obviously Daughtry. Daughtry deserves to win a show, even if it's a stupid show like this one.
How ironic would it be if he comes in fourth again?
God, that would be awful. And the worst part was we wouldn't be able to see his jaw drop when he gets fourth. We wouldn't get the face because he'll be behind the mask.
What do the winners of this show get? I don't even know.
Nothing. Exposure.
They get a big pile of nothing.
Yeah.
They get an Uber ride home.
They get a ride home and maybe they get to keep the costume. Who knows?
And they have to fend for themselves through the wilderness as they fight to get home, which I think would be a better show.
Yeah, quite possibly. Anyway.
I just imagine like Daughtry like we're getting home. We're doing this. He's like the pioneer.
These places and these faces are getting old, so we're going home.
All right, Eric, who is your second favorite of what
I
this
didn't
was?
do my third favorite.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My third favorite was the Fox.
What does the Fox say?
No, I'm above that.
We have standards.
But apparently the Fox network is not above having a Fox person as the Masked Singer. For corporate synergy, I guess. Honestly, I like the Fox sang a song from back when Maroon 5 didn't suck. Was the only professional singer of this episode. And I didn't hate it. That's enough to put him in the top 3.
Who is it? Who do you think?
I don't know. I
love it. Never mind. I have no idea who it is. It's probably like a baseball player or someone. Like there's always one.
It's a professional singer.
Oh. I don't know. But I will say this was my number 2 on my list, honestly. So, I love this song. Like Maroon 5, as much as everyone gives them like flack nowadays,
they were good.
When they had
At one point, they were good.
Their album, I think it's like the Songs About Jane or Songs for Jane, is I think might be one of my favorite like albums, like collection of music just ever. Like if I could have one album probably on a deserted island, would probably be that, just because I'm.
That's not good.
What?
That's not a good answer. There's so many better albums. It was a good album, but it wasn't that. It wasn't like.
It was like my high school years, Eric.
Okay, fine.
It was I love Maroon 5. It was right before. It was like right before the Voice started. Like
yeah,
that.
Pretty much.
The Voice ruins everything.
That album's like 2006.
I don't even know. Well.
No. 2006.
So since that was my number 2, I'm gonna pass it back over to you for your number 1.
Well, my number 2.
That was your number 2. Oh.
That was my number
3. Go on.
My number 2 is The Butterfly. Great voice. Arguably my favorite performance of both weeks, but I think Black Widow edged her out a little bit. Let's talk about my favorite what the fuck are they thinking moment of the entire 2 weeks of The Masked Singer. Robin Thicke said Leona Lewis.
Strange
What?
color.
like how clueless you have to be. Luna with operatic, smooth,
We need to like edit in.
smooth voice, and then this person, the butterfly, has a great voice, but it's nowhere near like smooth or silky or the range of Leona. Nothing, not even close. Like how? How could you? Either you're purposely being stupid, or you're just unbelievably stupid.
I'm telling you, it's the shoebox with the names, like the little
Honestly,
rolled up names.
that would be a better rationale than him actually thinking it might be Leona. Because if he thinks it's Leona, he's a complete moron.
It's the Kool-Aid Man. Like they just roll up the. No. No, come on.
No.
No. All right. Well, I was on this performance. It was kind of all right. It was if this had been on the X Factor UK, it would have been on my top 3.
If it was an X Factor UK, it would have been number 1 for me by a mile.
I
If
mean,
any of these were on X Factor UK, they'd be number 1 by a mile.
she is though. She's Michelle Williams, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it was kind of seems pretty
I'll tell you,
obvious.
she's not Leona fucking Lewis.
Or the Kool-Aid Man. Funny enough, that second episode of The Masked Singer had pretty good some pretty good singing. I will go ahead and just share my number 1 favorite, which was I don't even have the Thingamajig.
Really?
Yeah, performing Rainbow, Casey Musgraves. I really enjoyed it. I mean, Nicole Scherzinger like pretending to cry kind of overdid it. Like I was like, why do we gotta cut to them? Like why can't?
No, we don't just talk. I have to talk about it now because now that you brought it up. Honestly, The Masked Singer is the most excruciating judge cutaways of any show I've ever seen in my life.
It's worse than Howie.
Oh, it's so much worse than Howie. I'm gonna do something I never thought I'd say on the show. I'm sorry, Howie Mandel. You could have been so much
No,
worse.
he's gonna come back. We didn't even talk that he was on the X Factor UK. Now you've brought up the devil, and we have to talk about him.
On the X Factor UK, he wasn't as bad as he could have been.
Because he was in the judge, like the guest judge, where he's just there for awkward filler lines and nothing else.
Even Randy wasn't as bad as I thought he would be.
Because they weren't the highlight.
You're right.
But anyway, the Thingamajig, who is this guy?
He's a thingamajig.
A lot of people are thinking he's a basketball player. I mean,
That's a little weird, but anyway.
That's the thing. When it's a show like Dancing with the Stars, like I know the celebrities, so I can root for them. If I don't know who these,
Even X Factor celebrity, I know the celebrities. I could root for them if they could sing, but they can't. So
the problem is I can't root for anyone because I kind of need to know who they are to kind of get invested. I can't get invested in a Thingamajig. Like I can get invested in like a Raven Simone, but if I don't have the name, like that's just one of the problems. But it is what it is. So what was your favorite performance?
Black Widow.
Black Widow. What did she perform? Oh, we already talked about her.
That's how memorable these costumes are. Yeah, we forgot that we just talked about her.
There are a lot of names, and I don't know. These two shows are both with celebrities, and yet I knew Ninja, and I knew Kevin McHale.
I knew Paul Schaefer.
Yes, let's. I guess we should just really quickly touch on the unmaskings. So, who are the two celebrities unmasked, Eric?
I don't know the first one at all, but I know Paul Schaefer.
The other one was, I think it was Dr. Drew, who's like one of those doctor shows that give questionable medical advice on TV shows.
Because my honorable mention for my favorite moment on The Masked Singer was when Paul Schaefer took off his mask and then put on the glasses that he's famous for wearing. That was my favorite moment.
I don't know who he is, Eric.
He's Letterman's band leader.
But doesn't the band leader have to sing?
So many fake laughs.
What?
He was such a great fake laugher.
No. Is David Letterman's not still on, right?
No, tired.
Who replaced him? Was that?
Stephen Colbert.
Oh, we like Colbert, right? He's good.
I like Colbert.
I like Colbert too. I mean, who's the band leader of him for him?
He's really good.
Who?
John Baptiste.
Maybe he'll be on the Masked Singer next season.
Nope, because he can't sing.
Well, apparently neither could
Ever
David
could
Letterman.
Paul, but Paul at least could sort of pass-ish, kind of, sort of, not really. Anyway.
All right. Well, I guess the last kind of question I have on the Masked Singer is, did they get it right?
Well, I like Paul, so I'm not gonna say no, but objectively he was not a good singer, so yeah, they got it right.
I mean, they got it right most times, like this season so far. Like,
Whatever. What are you
who
gonna
do you
do?
who do you think really? It's all the producers, right? Or is it?
It's producers, yeah, basically.
But for a show like this, I kind of feel in a little bit safer hands with them.
Yeah.
Which is I mean, look, these were some rough episodes, Eric. That's all I can really say on the matter. But I never would have thought I'd say that I enjoyed the Masked Singer more than the X Factor.
Never did I, but we're here, so.
All right. Well, I want to say that I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox or in my two websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. Where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, EricAscher on Twitter, EricAscher01 on YouTube. So fun story for a post show. So next 2 weeks from now, for my work, I'm actually seeing Bryn Cartelli and Zavia from The Four perform live.
Who?
Bryn Cartelli from The Voice. Kelly's.
Oh, she won.
Yeah.
No. Oh no,
Yeah.
she won.
And she opened for Kelly on tour. I'm seeing her. I'm seeing Zavia, who is the person everyone loved on The Four. So. And then
Javaya, you mean?
videos up.
Javaya? Was that her name?
Zavia.
Oh, there was one girl from was it the Four? There's so many shows, like they come and go. Remember The World's Best, Eric?
God, that one was awful.
Like it's like American Idol, The Voice, and the X Factor are like the kids who get the chairs, and then there's like the few occasional shows that like kind of creep into the room and then get shoot
Rising
out.
Star?
I actually remember enjoying Rising Star. Like as much of
Goodbye,
a
everybody.
Well, then I'm just gonna say anyway. Until next time, peace.